Just touched down Chicago.
Let's go, everyone's chilling.
Got Davis. Just got to the apartment. Not the apartment, the hotel. It is Thursday.
Yo, we're ready to rock and crush this race. Let's go.
Living large. Just gotta wait for Evan to get here. Delayed from New York. Coming. Mom.
Brandon, right here in Chicago.
Hey, what's good?
First meal.
Looking some Asian food. We don't usually eat it, but it's got great flavor.
First trip to Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're live in Chicago, Illinois, Midwestern City. That's where.
Yo, shakeout run Friday with Davis. Did not feel the best. We were hitting like marathon pace. My heart rate was already up to 160. So I'm recording this to see what happens race day. But I was telling Davis, I'd be lying if I didn't say there was a little bit of doubt about going sub 3 given my heart rate, but we're gonna send it.
Brandon's gonna crush it. I know we got some good intervals here. Slow pace, fast pace. He's all primed up for the race. Let's go.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Feels like we're in the dark night right now.
Dark night.
Let's go.
Why so serious, Brendan? Let's go.
Don't slip over there, be careful. Brandon's about to do his floating routine.
Is this recording?
Yeah, it's rolling.
Alright, here we are Friday before the marathon. Davis and I just hit the shakeout run. This is shout out to Coach Don. He recommended floating to let the muscles.
Okay, go ahead.
What happened?
I pressed a button to stop it.
Alright, out here floating per Coach Don's instructions. Got the floaty.
We like saying this before the marathon.
I don't have to stay in one thing. Good attempt, man. Alright.
There it is. The technique.
Wait. No, I got one more shot, one more shot.
Coach Don says the best way to relax before a marathon is to float on your back in the water. That's what Brandon's doing right now, getting all ready for the race. I'm going to give it a go too, but I honestly can't float.
That's good, man. The bean.
Yo, what up? We're cruising through Chicago.
Yeah, photo time.
Let's go.
The bean.
Yo, let's go. We're here in Millennium Park, right by the beach.
We're late. Hi, Mom.
Should I jump down? No.
All right, let's go.
No, we're rolling.
Yo, steakhouse with Evan.
Oh, what is this, a video pre-marathon?
No, yeah, this is for the YouTube video.
We're bulking up pre-race here with the family.
Evan's got the New York style, like Davis likes to say. But yeah, a lot of these steakhouses have a lot of photos on the wall, white tablecloths. But we were just saying we walked like 17,000 steps today, which probably isn't ideal 2 days before the race, but we'll see. Get a good steak and let it rip. Evan's hamstring.
Fuel up.
Evan's hamstring's busted up.
Just out here to finish the race, not gonna PR it. Yeah.
Great trip though. So get some steaks. Oh, fired up. Let's go.
I'm
outside.
not sure if we get back in, so I'll wait here.
Are you serious? Davis with the bid pickup.
No, let him know.
Let's go.
It's game time.
I'll test it out, dude.
Yeah, test it.
Oh, you can get in this
It's
time.
open?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure somebody will let us back in if we can't get back in. Yo, let's go.
Oh, there's a boat turn.
Bid pickup Saturday before the race. 18 something. Place was packed in there, but absolutely fired out. We had this Uber driver that took us over here, sharing some motivation, wisdom. Here with Evan over here.
Yep.
Got the New York fashion. We're looking comfortable. Coach Don said to stay off the feet, so we're gonna stay off the feet as much as possible. We got Dave's behind the camera.
Yo, let's go.
Sub 3 is going down tomorrow. Let's go.
Let him know, let him know.
And we got a beautiful lake.
That is crazy out there. Look at that view. It's a fire sailboat too. Hey, have a day.
Grocery haul with Davis. Got some Gatorade.
Oh, let's go. We're cruising through the streets.
Where are we getting our
Fueled up.
where are we getting our pre-race meal?
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Chicken rice, let's go.
Chipotle. Davis. All right, we're back with the Chipotle orders. What Davis get?
Yo, before the race, rice, chicken, lettuce, tomatoes. It's nice, clean, and consistent going into the race. Chipotle never misses, honestly.
Yeah, but some people might be like, why Chipotle, man? I know you just said it's consistent, but of other factors.
Yes, we have food allergies, and we know it's going to be something good for us to eat. We're not going to get sick the night before the race, and should get us to the start line feeling good.
Yeah, that's huge. That's Davis's meal. This is mine. Steak, white rice, cheese, sour cream, corn, pico, then a side of chips, using the chips. And then this is salsa, is elite. And for drinks, I got Gatorade and then Nesquik. I love Nesquik, so getting fueled up. Race morning. Filming a video, see how much I weigh. Ooh, 191 on race day. With all my stuff and the phone. It's probably like 190. Let's do it. We're walking back. I can't even think straight right now. These women are being super kind, walking me back, getting me water. I was persistent about sitting down. They're like, no. But I have to sit down after races. But they're being kind to walk me to get some Gatorade, fuel up, find my family. So I really, really appreciate it. That was amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Is there any Gatorade over here?
I'm proud of you. Amazing job. Congratulations, everybody.
This is what it looks like to push your body to the absolute limit. Feels amazing. There's nothing like a runner's high. But the cool thing is you also realize, like, I went 2:53, and there's people that much better than me. And there's also that many more people that are getting higher times, but they're pushing themselves just as hard. So it's all relative, and it's amazing to set a goal, test yourself, always sharpen your mental, your physical capabilities. And I feel once organized sports end, a lot of people lack that. So I recommend getting out, testing yourself. Instead of just preaching hard work, you got to make sure that you're doing it yourself too. So that's my one piece of advice. For the content. Yeah.
I'll just sit it right here. That's a gnarly grab.
Oh my God.
You got a nice study. I do nice marathon. So like I do nice 3 hours, 3 hours a day. And it feels easy. I guess
Absolute mayhem. Alright, that's good, man. Alright, as you can see from those last clips, I was in a world of hurt after the marathon. Absolute hurt. I was in shambles, body was in shambles, mind was in shambles, but I was able to hit the goal of going sub 3, going right around 2:53, which I was ecstatic about. I was super happy, proud. I was proud of myself, and it was almost a surreal moment. It kind of felt like a dream where I'd spent all this time working up to it, and eventually I was able to hit that goal where I spent 14 weeks, a lot of physical time, but also a lot of mental time thinking about it, then also traveled to Chicago. And it all worked out in the end, which is super cool. It doesn't always work out like that, and how I like to say it is the movie script, the movie writers couldn't have written it better. Thought is, it's crazy how the body improves, and something that I'm working on is not pigeonholing myself to who I was a couple years ago, because I am not the same person as I was 2-3 years ago, even a month ago. And what I mean by that is 2-3 years ago, I tried running the Charles River Marathon, and I had the lofty goal of going sub 3, but leading up to that marathon, it was a spur of the moment. My brothers were doing it, and I only had about probably 2-3, maybe 4 weeks of training, so it was really lofty. I started off with the sub 3 group, and I ended up going right around 130, 129 probably at the halfway point, and then I hit an absolute wall. And during Chicago, when I hit the halfway point, I ran for the 127. I had a flashback to that Charles River Marathon of me hitting that wall and getting put pretty much to a dead halt. And I ended up finishing the Charles River in 3:18. And when I was going through Chicago, and I hit mile 14, 15, and I was still on marathon pace, I said, wow, yeah, I'm definitely not the same person. And I don't even know why I would even think that, because I put in so much training. And it's just wild how my brain was just grabbing onto that event. And I was scared that the same thing was going to happen this time, but I pushed through that mental barrier and we just kept going. I would say from about mile 18 in is when the real race started for me. Something that I have to continuously remind myself, especially on these longer runs, is patience, patience, patience. And what I mean by that is, especially during the major marathons where there is just so much energy. There's people lined up. The 2 major marathons I've run now is Boston and Chicago, and both the energy is just contagious. There's so much going on. And sometimes I'd find myself at mile 6, 7, 8 feeling really good, going right around the pace and saying, oh, this is pretty slow. I think I can go faster. But I have to tell myself that, hey, stick to the plan, be patient, because this race really starts mile 15, 16, 17. And if you're feeling this good then, by all means, empty the gas tank. But if you empty the gas tank now, you might get to mile 16, 17 and just absolutely bonk, which has happened to me on training runs. So luckily I have enough experience where I know that, and I was able to kind of stay self-controlled and right in my pace group, and it worked out. But yeah, mile 18 in was extremely difficult, so I can't imagine if I took off and went way faster at mile 7, I probably would have bonked and not hit my goal. But yeah, those last couple miles of the marathon, I remember just having a thought like, wow, this sucks. This is extremely painful. Why am I doing this type of stuff? Which is common, but you really just got to push through it, and every step is painful. And I was just reminding myself like, hey, a 7-minute mile here is better than an 8-minute mile, or an 8-minute mile is better than a 9-minute mile. And I've developed this mindset originally from golf, when I was playing in like club golf tournaments, where sometimes I'd be so frustrated with a hole and not happy with my score, and just figuratively coming up where the rest of the competition is, even though you don't know where the competition is. And let's say I'm on the green and there's a 1-footer left to finish. You have to finish all the way in, and I lose patience or concentration, and it takes me 3 strokes to get in when it should have only taken me 1. And then the end of the round finishes, and the difference between making the cut, not making the cut, was those 2 extra strokes. So if I'd actually focused, I would have made the cut, and you would have ended up in a totally different spot. So it just shows that every stroke mattered. It matters in golf, but then you can translate that to running, where legit every single second, every single minute does matter. So I just continuously had that mindset in this race, which was great. But yeah, after body was in shambles, I was pretty much bedridden after the marathon. And then I did get sick when I came home, because my body was just so weak that it could not fight off any germs or sickness. And the biggest thing was, I'm coining this, but I had post-marathon depression in a way, or I don't know if it was classified as depression, but it was a deep sense of sadness, being down and not having any motivation to do anything. And I thought there was something wrong with me. But now that I'm 3-4 weeks out, I'm starting to return back to my normal mental state and physical state. I realized that, yeah, after that push, my nervous system, everything was just so out of whack that sometimes I just got to give myself grace. And I just was not thinking in the right frame of mind. And it was just super interesting, because you would think after putting in all this effort, hitting your goal, you would kind of just take the momentum and keep going. But for me, this has happened with other things now as well, that I go down and then I go back up. So I just got to remember that for next time. But yeah, it was pretty weird where nothing really excited me, and I was just in a really like deep state of not motivated. But I realized it's good. I got to give myself grace. I got to give myself a period of like, hey, you deserve this rest. Rest up, recalibrate, and then we can focus and achieve something else. So that's something that I will take away from this race. But overall, super proud of myself. It definitely helped having people there, because how Chicago had different corrals, and a lot of people in your corral were going right around the same pace. So starting off, I met this kid at the starting line named Sky, who was from Hawaii. Guy was wearing a sweatshirt. Before the race, I was like, dude, are you hot? And he's like, no, I'm freezing. He was also wearing a Go One More hat, which, you know, they're legit. So Sky and I ran together for probably about 6 miles, going right on the same pace. And then I found these 2 other runners who looked like they were together, clocking probably like 6:40, 6:30s, and I just tucked in behind them for about 13, 14 miles and just had them take me to the promised land. And I knew that if I stuck with them, it would put me in a really, really good position to go sub-3. And that is what played out. So overall, yeah, I'm just happy, because the other thing too is there's always an opportunity cost to things, and putting in all that training, I had to sacrifice other things. And the last thing I wanted to do is put all that sacrifice in and fail. So it's really great to see that was not the case, and I was able to persist forward and accomplish the mission. So I appreciate you all watching, supporting, and we will see what the next iteration to life is. But that will definitely go down in the memory books for myself. And it was great just getting able to go on a family vacation, run with my brothers yet again, and see what I am capable of, both mentally and physically. So thank you for all the support. One thing I forgot to add in that last video, and I didn't feel like doing a retake, so I'm just doing an add-on. I'll be quick, is my concern going into the race with my heart rate. So when I was on my training runs, I did a lot with the Garmin, and I could see my heart rate, and I knew that you kind of want to be in that, maybe the threshold period. I don't know exactly where the threshold period is, but I found the sweet spot was maybe high 150s, 160s, and once you get into those 170s, that's when your body's really starting to work. So in some of these training runs, I think I focused too much on my heart rate, and I was nervous going in saying, oh, I just did this 5-mile run. My heart rate got up to high 160s. How the heck am I going to hold this pace? And when I did that 5-mile run, I was going at the marathon pace. How am I going to hold this for 26.2? And this was a serious doubt in my head. And what helped me actually was Truett Haynes posted one of his marathon runs, which I believe was about a week prior to the Chicago Marathon, where he ran 2 hours and 25 minutes. And part of his stat showed his average heart rate. And I want to say his average heart rate was 178, which was, in my mind, up until that point, I thought, there's no way I can hold a 170, 178 heart rate for 26.2. But that made me realize that you can. So going into the race, I felt it gave me a little bit more confidence that, hey, even if you have a high heart rate, you can hold it longer than you may think. So going in, starting at mile 4 or 5, my heart rate got up to the mid 160s, high 160s. But luckily I was able to stay calm, and my heart rate stayed right around, I would say, high 160s, and crept into the 170s for the race. And eventually my average heart rate was about 169, which I would have thought was high, but I was able to hold that at the threshold. And then once I was more in tune with heart rates, I could see other individuals that ran the marathon, and some of them had heart rates all the way up at 170, average heart rates of 174, high 170s. So you can have a high heart rate and hold it. and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So if you're training for a marathon, you realize you have high heart rate on some of your training runs, it might not be the worst, but ideally you want to try to keep your heart rate as low as possible for as long as possible. But you can also push your body, especially on race day. And that was something that gave me confidence going into the race, because I was nervous about my heart rate and how high it would get, especially during the race. I can't emphasize this enough. Where I was on mile 5 or 6, and my heart rate was already at 165, 166, 167. And I thought once I got to that 170, I was in Dunzo zone, but that wasn't the case. So that's just one tad bit of information I wanted to share and also capture so I don't forget this as well. Because a lot of times if you don't document something, you forget it. So there it is. That's the end of the video. Thank you for tuning in.